¿Qué tal? Muy buenos días. Mi nombre es José Manuel Martínez, consultor de servicios de TI aquí en Lopre International. Les doy la más cordial bienvenida a este webinar titulado Automatice sus aplicaciones en la nube. La agenda para el día de hoy acerca de nosotros de Lopre International. Igualmente, pues vamos a hablar de nuestra tecnología Automate. Bueno, nosotros somos una empresa de consultoría en TI con más de 20 años de experiencia en Latinoamérica y Europa. Implementamos soluciones que apoyan a las mejores prácticas como lo son ITIL, ISO 27002 y COVID. Nuestro modelo de negocio es el siguiente: siguiendo las mejores prácticas, pues creamos metodologías propias basadas en la experiencia y usando la tecnología les ofrecemos a ustedes los servicios de consultoría, soluciones de software, actualización tecnológica. Igualmente ayudamos a ustedes a alcanzar sus objetivos de negocio. Nuestra metodología es la siguiente. Primeramente partimos de un análisis donde nosotros recopilamos esa información de la infraestructura, es decir, la parte medular de sus sistemas, e igualmente del entorno del negocio, es decir, cómo ustedes trabajan actualmente. La siguiente fase, pues, es el modelo tecnológico. Con ya esa información recabada, pues elaboramos un análisis, igualmente un modelo tecnológico, donde nosotros vamos a tomar en cuenta sus procesos de negocio, la tecnología que utilizan, e igualmente usando las mejores prácticas, las alineamos a una estrategia corporativa y siguiendo pues los objetivos de negocio. La parte de implementación, pues nosotros la realizamos a 3 niveles para que la solución adquirida no solo se quede en la parte operativa, es decir, que en la parte ejecutiva, el jefe directo, los directores estén enterados de lo que ocurre, ya sea por medio de reportes o igualmente por gráficas. Finalmente, la parte de validación, es decir, todo ese análisis que realizamos, pues sea el resultado de lo que se está obteniendo el día a día para verificar que efectivamente se está apoyando pues con los objetivos de negocio. Nosotros contamos con líneas de negocio. La primera de ellas, la seguridad de la información. Aquí las aplicaciones con las que contamos pues le van a permitir tener un registro claro y preciso sobre quién pues, va a acceder a su información, quién realiza cambios, cómo están los perfiles en el sistema, monitorear las políticas de seguridad. Igualmente definir quién pueda realizar ciertos cambios, incluso quién puede ejecutar comandos en sus servidores. Y la parte de Go Anywhere, donde esta solución nos va a apoyar a la transferencia de información pues de manera encriptada. La parte de monitoreo de infraestructura y servicios de TI, pues aquí nos vamos a apoyar a conocer la disponibilidad de todos sus dispositivos. Vamos a poder obtener dashboard y pantallas que le informen sobre lo que sucede en cada uno de ellos, permitiéndoles pues tener alarmas sobre algún comportamiento que sea normal. Además vamos a poder realizar ese seguimiento puntual a los procesos que son críticos para su negocio y saber en tiempo real cómo van sus ventas, el estatus de sus inventarios, entre otra información. Y en la parte de monitoreo de redes, pues nuestra tecnología le va a permitir conocer cuál de nuestros equipos pues está consumiendo más ancho de banda de nuestro enlace. Vamos a poder tener esa visión de la disponibilidad de desempeño pues de todos los equipos. La parte de control de cambios, pues aquí la tecnología nos va a permitir dar ese seguimiento al ciclo de desarrollo del software. Al mejorar esos controles de versiones y cambios realizados, vamos a poder distribuir, ¿verdad?, en diferentes sistemas y plataformas para poder reducir el tiempo empleado, ya sea en la liberación de algún cambio o incluso de un nuevo módulo. La parte de Performance and Capacity Planning, aquí vamos a poder conocer el desempeño de sus servidores, los servicios que están instalados en su negocio. Vamos a poder ayudarlos a realizar pues esa proyección que les va a permitir saber cuánto tiempo pues será necesario aumentar los recursos del servidor o incluso cuándo debieran cambiarlo. Y finalmente, la parte de automatización de tareas y procesos de TI, aquí nosotros vamos a poder administrar e igualmente automatizar esas tareas y procesos en múltiples plataformas. La ventaja de esto es que nosotros nos vamos a apoyar por dashboard, igualmente por flujos de trabajo, donde vamos a poder pues, manejar esas distintas plataformas. A lo largo de estos 20 años de experiencia hemos trabajado con las mejores empresas, aquí algunas de ellas. Igualmente, pues a lo largo de este tiempo hemos formado alianzas sólidas con empresas líderes en la industria que nos respaldan con ese software de vanguardia para brindarles a nuestros clientes pues las mejores soluciones y servicios especializados. Hoy es el caso, ¿verdad? Que vamos a tener a nuestro aliado de negocio Health System, que tiene pues más de 30 años en el mercado de TI, atiende a 10,000 clientes alrededor del mundo. Igualmente, tiene 350 de las 2,000 mejores empresas según Forbes. Y como invitado especial tenemos a Richard Schoen, que es director de tecnologías. Richard, please proceed with the presentation.
All right, well, hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Richard Schoen, coming to you from our world headquarters in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, here in the U.S. I'll be the moderator today for our webinar titled Bring the Power of Automation to Your Cloud Apps. If you're like many of our automation customers, chances are you're moving some or all of your applications into a cloud environment, and once this has happened, the trick is how to best interact with and exchange data with those applications, as well as manage their uptimes. In this session, we'll explore some of the things that you can automate as your team moves towards cloud deployment. As mentioned, I'm Richard Schoen, Director of Document Management here at Health Systems. I'm part of the Technical Solutions Group, bringing topics like this to our customers and prospective customers. I have over 30 years of background on IBM, Windows, and Linux platform software development, managing and delivering forms and documents, helping customers implement paperless process, and implementing process automation to make their days easier. And my co-host today is Andrew Usher from our UK team, who reminded me that he is as old as my experience level, and so, definitely young in years, but old in knowledge of, good day, Andrew. Why don't you say hello and tell us a little bit about you?
Hey everyone, like Richard just said, my name is Andrew Usher and I'm a technical representative for both the Automate and Halcyon products here at Health Systems. And as Richard just said about the experience, Tim might have nowhere near as much experience as him, but I've been working with the IBM and Windows for the past 6 years. I was once a customer of Health Systems as well, so I like to think that I understand the customer's perspective fully, so I kind of think it really helps me a lot in the support environment, so I understand from both sides of things as well.
All right, awesome. Yes, and thanks for joining me today. All right, so before we get things rolling, a little introduction to Health Systems and what we do. Health Systems have been in business for over 35 years, providing solutions for everyday business automation needs. Our solutions help customers automate their daily operations, including system management, network and infrastructure monitoring, business and desktop process automation, and report and document management. We also help customers secure their networks and business systems from cyber attacks and help companies maintain compliance. And we help keep users informed all day long through the use of our business reporting, data warehousing, and executive dashboarding software. All of our products can be deployed across multiple platforms, including IBM, Windows, Linux, and AIX. We'll start today's session with a quick introduction to the current state of cloud adoption and some of the potential challenges. Then we'll talk about some cloud application automation examples and how they might be useful. And then we'll provide a short introduction to our Automate scheduling and automation software that can be used to streamline all of your most tedious on-premise and cloud-based application processes. And then we'll do a short technology demo of Automate working with some cloud applications so you can see how easy it is to integrate your cloud apps with automation processes. All right, so let's explore the state of cloud adoption. Andrew's going to take us through a couple of slides on cloud adoption.
So, have you actually started your journey to the cloud yet? We performed a cloud adoption survey recently and received responses from 254 businesses. Migrating some or all of their computing workloads to the cloud is a primary objective for many organizations today. It's no big surprise that the majority of organizations who responded to the survey operate applications both in the cloud and on-premise already. Not only do most businesses currently run a mixed environment, the number is sure to increase. 69% of respondents said they expected to have at least some or all systems and applications in the cloud within the next year. This number could potentially be even higher than reported, as is common in many organizations for business departments to adopt solutions to solve their specific problems without actually involving IT. While cloud adoption and usage continues to increase, there's little evidence that on-premise applications will be fully abandoned in the near future. Out of the 254 companies in the survey, only 8 companies, 4%, are currently operating completely in the cloud. 5 of those businesses have less than 50 employees and therefore possibly a less complex IT infrastructure than the large enterprises in the study, making it easy to fully move to the cloud. It's much more complex than when you have several hundred or thousand employees and you're operating complex ERP and other business systems.
Yep, yeah, I think that's true with small businesses because a lot of times they have file needs and they have email needs, and that's kind of where they start in the cloud.
agree. So as business processes start to span on-premise and the cloud, these are some of the common hybrid activities respondents are performing on a regular basis. 42% of respondents have the job of deploying new users regularly to cloud applications. This includes setting up application users, accounts and roles. 38% are importing and exporting or moving data between platforms on a regular basis. With a growing number of mixed environments, I would expect that number to increase over the next several years. 36% of businesses are using cloud-based backup strategies to back up some or all of their data regularly. 35% are using cloud-based web services and applications. Common things we see are customers interacting with cloud-based CRM or help desk applications. 34% are onboarding and offboarding Active Directory and other users into applications on a regular basis. This includes creating users, mailboxes, and setting up application access, as we mentioned above. 23% are sending and receiving data on a regular basis in Excel formats, which is still the main data exchange format of choice for many finance teams and organizations. And finally, 17% of respondents have deployed databases in the cloud, such as SQL Server on Azure, or any of the various Amazon Cloud database variants, such as DynamoDB, SimpleDB, or RDS.
Yeah, interestingly, Microsoft is in the news the last couple of days. Couple things. They acquired GitHub. I don't know if you know what that is, but that's an online code thing. But more importantly, they're testing building cloud. They have apparently a container-sized cloud data center that they deployed underwater for cooling. So that's pretty cool if they start deploying our data underwater. As long as those devices don't leak, right? I can do that. Yeah, that could be a bad thing, but definitely interesting because think of it, unlimited cooling, right? If they can keep these things sealed and have data running down underwater, so definitely a nice way to cool a data center if they can make that work. All right, so we're going to review a few use case samples where customers might be able to take advantage of cloud automation. So help desk software is one of the few core apps that many businesses have moved to the web via cloud service providers such as ServiceNow. They're probably the number one. ConnectWise, Zendesk, Jira, BMC, there's all kinds of other ones. Many of you already use one of these stellar help desk platforms, or maybe another similar product, or maybe something homegrown. I just talked to a few customers that have built their own for various reasons. So these systems have varying levels of automation for handling help desk tickets, but not always performing the remediation steps around them. So often they can receive and generate tickets automatically, via API or via inbound email messages. Also, things like ServiceNow, here's an example. They've got a queuing system where you can queue up ticket requests and then use software like our automation software to run a request and update the related tickets with completion status or logs from the task, and then also capture that runtime information as well for metrics. So this is a great way for a SaaS team or a network operations center that needs to automate regular checks, but also capture tickets for metrics and reporting. Handling password resets or system availability checks are also a couple of other mundane tasks that can be automated when a ticket comes in, potentially saving the help desk hours of work by automatically handling and logging those requests and resolutions. The help desk ticketing system is a central place typically to capture all your help desk metrics. So automating ticket handling is a great way to automatically capture ticket metrics as you go. And then if you have a formal help desk system, you've at least taken the steps to start automating the sending, the receiving, the acknowledging, and completion of help desk tickets to track metrics on various issues. But there's more that can be done to streamline with automation. CRM is also the lifeblood of most sales and customer service organizations. The CRM system is meant to be a central clearinghouse of information for customer accounts, contacts, opportunities, sales, cases, demos, tickets, and more in a lot of cases. I've talked to many customers who have a CRM system, but they don't use it fully because they can't access all their core business information from a single consolidated system view such as the CRM system provides. So often they need to go look for information such as order and shipment status and invoice statuses and other systems. So this is often due to difficulties related to bringing data in from other systems such as the ERP system or the accounting system or finance system to the CRM to provide that one holistic view of customer information. So when you're picking a cloud-based CRM, make sure your automation process software, such as Automate, can read and write information to those systems easily, so the required daily information updates from all business systems can end up in the right place in the CRM system as you move from in-house to hosted CRM. Our Automate software can integrate with Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce, and other cloud-based or on-premise CRM systems to aggregate data for single pane of glass viewing. So whether you're using cloud-hosted or on-premise CRM, having one centralized view of the organization is a great way to keep all teams from sales, service, and support on the same page. Most likely by now you've heard of Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure, or Azure as Andrew called it, which both provide their own flavor of cloud applications and services. Both platforms offer Linux and VM hosted servers in the cloud, which is a common starting point as organizations start using cloud. Many organizations are using Amazon and Azure servers for development and testing services, so being able to start and stop and monitor and manage those servers automatically is critical to maximizing uptime and maximizing costs by spinning them down when they're not being used. Also, it's a good way to build virtual private networks, to have some services in the cloud, but then make them feel like they're part of the local network. So I've talked to some customers who have kind of split the load where they use maybe a VM on Amazon or Azure in the cloud to receive files via FTP, and then they pick them up from their internal network. And then in this case, the cloud site is acting as the public buffer or the server exchange, and it's not located on the internal network, so chances of internal security compromises are much less. Although you still have to secure your cloud servers just as you would with any internal server to keep them safe. Amazon and Microsoft also provide various servers such as Amazon S3 or Microsoft Blob Storage, which can be used to store documents and other miscellaneous data. And then more and more common is the concept of using cloud services to store database tables using SQL Server, Cosmos DB, Azure, RDS, DynamoDB, SimpleDB, and there's other ones as well. So there's a new term to describe this concept of running apps purely in the cloud. They're called serverless apps because all the back-end infrastructure is in the cloud instead of on-premise. And then also using message queuing services such as Microsoft MSMQ or Amazon Simple Queues is a popular way to queue up work for processing so it can be processed in the order received without overwhelming servers, or also scaled up to run across multiple servers. Drive sharing applications are a nice way to allow remote users to interact with documents and capture signatures and other information, and then sync the documents with corporate information in the data center or cloud. A document can be sent to a remote device by syncing with the device via an app or an email. After a document gets completed or signed on the remote device, the document can be synced back to the cloud drive and then processed or imported into a document management or another file system where it needs to get stored. Services such as Dropbox and Google Drive and OneDrive are examples of public cloud solutions that can be used for syncing documents for these types of processes. However, these services are provided over a public network, which is not always as secure as a private network. Although they do use SSL for the security layer, having data at rest in the cloud may not always be the best option for your organization. So an example for organizations that need to use a private cloud solution for secure document transfers, products such as our Go Anywhere software allow documents to be sent and received securely using a private cloud drive sync application. A secure FTP or secure web upload or even secure email to keep file interchange compliant and secure and keep your data at rest in-house on your servers instead of out in the wild. So whether you're using public or private cloud field service document applications, all of these things can be nicely facilitated by using best-of-breed device apps coupled with cloud storage services and automation software such as Automate. When using Office 365, I know our organization and a lot of the organizations I talk to are moving towards Office 365, but so often documents need to be published on a daily basis online. There's a few ways this might be accomplished possibly. The easiest method might be to use OneDrive and simply drop a file to a local desktop or a network folder and have the document get automatically published. With software such as Automate, documents can also be published to a SharePoint document library or delivered via email as well. A similar process can work for inbound document processes. As users create or generate Excel or Word documents, they can upload them to a OneDrive or a SharePoint library, and as the files get synced, Automate can pick up the files, process them, and move them to a saved OneDrive or SharePoint folder, or delete the file from the OneDrive or SharePoint altogether after processing is complete. You may or may not already know this, but if you're using Office 365 and OneDrive for Business, your documents are already being stored in a SharePoint document library. Another use case might be to automate the merging of letter data into Word documents and delivering and publishing or printing those documents electronically as well. Automated Email monitoring and mailbox handling is another super strength of automation software like Automate. So watching for inbound vendor invoices, if you're in accounts payable or maybe help desk requests or other documents from the field is a popular use case these days. We see that all the time, and I'm from a document management world, and a lot of times we're receiving documents electronically via email. So software such as Automate can watch a mailbox for incoming messages and then select only the messages that need to get processed. And then as a message gets processed, the subject, the body, the recipient info, and the attachments can be automatically extracted and processed and forwarded as needed to the right team members. Or documents can get routed to a document management or a workflow system such as our WebDoc software for workflow review and approval processing. And then processing each message after processing each message, they can be moved to a saved folder if using Exchange or Office 365, or they can be deleted from the mail system altogether as well. So there's probably lots of places your company can take advantage of email monitoring and automation. All right, so let's talk for a few minutes about the benefits of automation and our Automate software.
So whether your need is to manage on-premise and cloud workloads, perform record and data updates to cloud applications, check application performance, or to make sure that your cloud application connectivity is up and running, you can hire Automate as a virtual employee to get the job done. Once you've trained Automate to perform work automatically, it always remembers to perform its work or regular application checks. Automate also never forgets to tell you if something has failed, and Automate will work 24/7 and never needs a vacation. To start identifying automation opportunities with the employees on your business or IT teams, here's one simple question you can ask to get the conversation started. Do you or anyone on your team spend more than 30 minutes per day doing manual work that you would be willing to give up? The question can easily start discussion about automation and getting rid of your users' most mundane manual work efforts. And once the ball is rolling and you've identified a handful of processes to automate, you'll find your team identifying more and more places where automation can help you do business more effectively by freeing up your team to do better service vendors, customers and employees. So a quick introduction to Automate. Automate is a low-code IT and business automation platform that allows you to create, manage and deploy managed workflows and tasks without typically writing code. When we say typically, we mean if you're going to use PowerShell, SQL or scripts, etc., then you're going to have some sort of knowledge of the language that's actually being used. Task builders use any of the 600 drag-and-drop activities to create tasks and workflows to train Automate to perform the various automation processes they want to set up. The work gets scheduled to run on a regular basis or can actually be run on demand. So reusable automation tasks are created using the drag-and-drop task builder interface to configure and build business logic modules. Tasks are then either added to workflows or simply scheduled to run daily, hourly, at selected time every few minutes, or in response to an email arriving, in response to a file or document arriving in a folder, a database trigger, or one of the 15 different Automate trigger mechanisms. If you're using Automate Enterprise, tasks can easily be connected into multi-step workflows where portions of the work can run across one or more servers. This example onboarding workflow shows an email arriving possibly from the HR team or the help desk, and then arriving or then triggering a task to process a new Active Directory domain user, and then also to add them to the company IBM system, SAP software, and SharePoint server as well. Notice the server names in blue under each task. This workflow process actually runs steps sequentially across 5 different servers and waits for each step to complete in sequence. The servers are the Exchange server, domain controller, the IBM My System, SAP App Server, and the SharePoint server. You can also create mailboxes, allocate Office 365 licenses, and more in an onboarding process if needed. Workflows are a great way to easily configure processes that run in a connected and coordinated order across multiple servers by simply picking the right server for each task to run on. With Automate Enterprise workflows, your team no longer needs to expend effort trying to correctly time processes on multiple servers and hope they run in sync. Your work runs on time, automatically, and always in the right sequence and keeps you in the loop if anything goes wrong.
Yeah, that's a common discussion I have with people too about trying to sequence their jobs and then not having to wait for them to run on one server or allow an hour buffer. I think that's an awesome feature in the workflows.
Automate contains more than 600 task activities that can be used to drive your automation processes. Files can be sent, received, and encrypted and decrypted on the fly with our inbuilt FTP and secure FTP transfer capabilities. Automate processes can be natively read and write, can read and write Excel, CSV, XML, JSON, HTML, PDF, and even other file text formats. Any database is free game to read and write with Automate. Imagine writing tasks that can process individual database records, quickly perform database lookups, and even insert, update, and delete records or call stored procedures. Automate also supports live mailbox monitoring, so inbound messages such as help desk requests, account payable invoices, and more can automatically be retrieved and processed. User onboarding is also a sweet spot for Automate. Imagine automating an employee onboarding sequence from hire to retire. User interface automation, or robotic process automation as it's called today, is the concept of driving application user interfaces from an automation process where an application has no core APIs available. Automate can interact with and drive web browser applications, where Windows desktop applications and Java interactive applications by the Java desktop bridge and Windows accessibility. Built-in terminal emulator actions such as the IBM i5250, Telnet 3270 and the VT100, as well as SSH terminal connections for Linux and AIX and related devices, can be used to automate old-style text-based screen applications and screen scraping for integration if needed. Automate also supports OCR and images and image-based PDF documents, running any command line batch files or executables including PowerShell scripts. And the platform supports web service calls to custom .NET applications and assemblies, VMware automation, as Amazon and Azure cloud activities. All of these activities can be easily intermixed with new or existing on-premise or cloud automation processes.
Very nice.
One of the unique things about the Help Systems RPA automation technology solution stack is that we have a full spectrum of technologies to help automate business and document processes, allowing our customers to meet their immediate business needs and realize business value with the confidence that they can expand anytime. Automate customers can start anywhere from a single desktop or server for automation all the way up to several hundred automated servers running daily, automating and scheduled processes. We offer automation components for automating front of glass or performing assisted desktop application work across departments, performing fully automated background automation processes. These processes are often laid for scheduled daily work where customers want to eliminate cron or Windows Task Scheduler and want to know what's happening with their scheduled daily processes to get a better handle on daily operations. We offer secure FTP server and secure email components for customers who need a bulletproof private cloud, along with secure file serving to augment their RPA process. Document management components for customers who want to fully automate accounts payable or accounts receivable document scanning, indexing, and electronic email processing. Our document management components can be used to augment RPA processes with advanced form-based OCR document data extraction using header and detail information, extraction for documents such as AP invoices. We also offer a web-based forms management solution that works with Automate to capture online forms such as a web-based employee applications, onboarding forms, or perhaps accounts payable invoice approvals, signature captures for deliveries, and more to help processes become more paperless. Whatever your process automation needs are, we can actually help you.
Absolutely. Very cool. All right, so let's take a little look at some live technology here. So let's make sure this all works. Usually does. Remote desktop, there you are. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to take a look at, I'm using our Go Anywhere software, and appropriately I have my G drive. I'm actually going to simulate syncing a file into the system so you can see what happens here. So we'll just put a file. Well, let's say we just scanned a document and it got synced up from our device. And then you'll see it says file created down the bottom right. And so that this file just came in. And so typically, whether you're using the Go Anywhere software or OneDrive or Google Drive, they all kind of work the same. Is as files come into the system, they get synced to to a local network drive or a local PC drive or somewhere, and then they can be processed and then moved to an after processing folder like we will do, or we can delete them as well. So it's a great way to sync those mobile devices with local applications on a daily basis. So let's take a look. So in this case, we have our one file that just arrived. We're just going to run a quick process that processes this directory. So it's going to read our G drive, and in this case, it's just going to simply copy the file, but it could be any sort of processing that you want to do with it. So it gets a list of files in my directory, and you'll notice it copies the file, and then the last step in this, it's actually going to move it to a saved folder on our G drive. So basically that completed that sequence. And then if you look in our G drive, it's gone from here now, and it's moved it to after processing since we're saving a copy of that. But just think of that in context, whether you're using Go Anywhere or any of the public cloud drives. It's a great way to sync files internally for processing and have them get automatically processed as they come in. So the next one, let's take a look at. So this is a good help desk use case. So in this case, we're going to actually use ServiceNow. So we'll run this, and I'll show you how it works in a second. So what this guy will do is it's going to a ServiceNow site, and it's actually generating a new help desk ticket using a REST API. So it created that incident number for us, and then now it's all done. It sends an email notification of that as well. So somebody is in the know that this guy just got created. But you can see right here, all we're using is we've got a simple REST API task, an HTTP component, where we can actually compose JSON or XML requests, and then we can send them via GET or POST or PUT or delete. So it's a great way to interact with a lot of the REST services out there like ServiceNow. And so like now if you go over here to my ServiceNow account, my session has expired, of course. Good thing I remember my password today. And number 7 shows up at the top, and you can see it created that incident, and we've created a couple other ones yet today as well. So ServiceNow Group is great to work with through their APIs, and they also have an API builder, and then also via email too. Most help desk systems, including ServiceNow, let you send tickets through email as well. So it's a great way to integrate to from any application, IBM, Windows, Linux, and send an email and generate tickets. So that's cool. And turning it around, if you want to report on tickets, you can use the same REST API. They've got a REST API for querying the database. Let's just see where's my example one of that. Oh, must be further up here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I think did I disable it? No, that one's good. Okay. Yeah, so you can see here, we're building a URL out. We're querying all of our active tickets that are priorities for using their API for ServiceNow. And then we'll generate those into an Excel spreadsheet, and then we'll view it, and then I email a copy of it off as well. So we'll let it go through. I think there's about 5 or 6 tickets going to go through. So it gets a list of those, and then using our data set component. So a data set is like a list of any records that come back from a web service or a database call or anything like that. So it ran that, and now we're going to show the Excel file. Typically, you'd probably email this off or archive it, but it's a great way to get a handle on all of your ongoing tickets on a regular basis throughout the day. There you can see we've got a couple tickets that got listed that came back for us. So nice to be able to do reporting from ServiceNow or other applications as well that support REST services. So that's pretty nice stuff. And then let's take a look. So in this case, this is inbound email processing. So one of the sweet spots, like we talked about, is inbound email. So here's a sample mailbox that I have with a couple emails in it. And I've got a sample task, and for those of you that aren't users, we're happy to share this with you. But basically, all I have to do is fill in a set of credentials: a user, password, domain, my site URL for my Exchange or Office 365 site. And this guy will download all of my email messages from my inbox, and then it'll move messages to my saved in me as well. And then I can choose what directory it goes to. So this can be a reusable module that you use to process a number of different mailboxes. So it's pretty cool. So we'll run this, and I'll show you what it pulls back when it's all done. But one of the sweet spots with integrating with Exchange in Office 365 is not only can you list mails like we're doing here and pull them down, but you can create calendar events and appointments and things like that too. So there's a lot of nice integration. And then I think we talked a little bit earlier about our SharePoint actions, so a lot of different ways to tie into Office 365 as well. So this guy's going through interactively. Typically these run a lot faster when they're running batch mode, but this is the equivalent of running interactively if I was doing a debug mode or something like that in a development environment as well. So it's a great way to be able to test. And as you can see down here, we've got variables so we can debug and do breakpoints just like you do in any other development environment, but you don't have to know a lot of, you should have a couple more and then in this case, I'm just opening the directory after we're all done with it, just so you can see what we just captured. But so one of the things I tend to do is automatically name my documents when they get pulled down. So I use a GUID, and then I prefix it with MSG. But you'll see where's our PDF example. So we had a PDF one. This was the bill of lading that came in. So I'll show you the actual document. So we pulled that attachment from the mailbox, and an email could have multiple attachments as well. This one happens just to be a 2-page bill of lading document that we received. And then you can also do things like create index data if you're going into a document management system, or maybe some processing data from the actual email. So we actually tend to capture the subject line and the from email address and things like that. And in our case, we have 30 keys you can put in our document management system, but most document management systems are pretty much the same when it comes to capturing documents. Very easy to pull documents, drop them into a directory, and you could have a process that picks up and processes these into the document management system or the accounts payable system or one of your other business systems after the processing completes. A couple of good samples, hopefully, that made sense on a use case.
Thank you, Richard. Bueno, les recordamos que tenemos una licencia de prueba de Automate por 30 días sin costo. Y con esto pues damos por terminado este webinar. Agradecemos su tiempo y cualquier duda o inquietud sobre nuestras tecnologías o servicio, llámenos al número que se encuentra en pantalla o escríbenos a nuestro correo electrónico. Thank you, hasta pronto y que tengan un excelente día.